Well, hello friends, we're back at the land, and as you saw, I got the backhoe back onto the tractor. Now, I've been able to do a lot of work on this tractor in the last day or two, got her good and greased up, changed out the hydraulic fluid, changed out the front axle fluid, and took the backhoe off, power washed the thing, so she's good to go. The whine is gone, that sort of hydraulic whine is gone, so that's really nice, or at least, mostly gone, and really glad about that. And so now we're gonna get this, what feels like a new tractor, full power, back onto the lot today and get some work done. I've got some shallow stumps that I'm going to try to get out today with the backhoe. This area of the property is all clay, and so these trees never really got too deep into the soil because of the clay, and so they're kind of easy to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle those with the backhoe right now. So I really have a few things that I need to do today, and one of them is cleaning up this brush. It's just continues to be an eyesore, continue to be a mess. The problem is I cannot burn today. I believe in the state of Maine, if the fire level or whatever, Smokey the Bear says that it's high, then you can't burn. And so I think we have high chance of fires, so they're not letting us burn right now. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of this brush out of here though and moved over to my brush pile for burning at another day. But then I've got some wood over here that'll be firewood and those kinds of things, and I'll show you this area now. But then there's also underneath where I just dug out that stump, there's an old stone wall, and stone wall is kind of generous. You can tell that maybe the stones were taken off it before or something. It just was more of a base to whatever stone wall was here, as far as I can tell. And so I'm going to go ahead and take those stones and I'm going to move them over to our retaining wall on the driveway project, which, by the way, hopefully we'll be getting 3 loads in this afternoon for the driveway project. And so as soon as they notify me, I'm going to shift gears, go over there and get that dirt all laid down. And hopefully 3 more loads will do it for us. But this is what I'm talking about. This area right here is just a disaster. I cut these trees down just a few weeks ago, actually. It's just a mess. Got to get those taken care of, as well as all of this brush right here. So I'm going to get going on that right now, start picking all of this up and seeing if we can't make this area a little nicer. So it seems pretty apparent as I've been going at this brush pile, I have hit some kind of ground nest of bees. I'm not particularly afraid of bees, but I don't feel like getting stung today. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this be, no pun intended. So I think what I'll do is throw in the towel on this project for today until I can get some wasp spray or something. And I'm going to just start working on the retaining wall a little more, maybe do some other cleanup. But for obvious reasons, I'm just going to not work in this spot right now. Now, I just bought this Coyote about 1.5 years ago in the spring of 24 and have put a couple hundred hours on it anyways. Now, I bought this tractor used and it was well maintained by the guy who owned it before me. Now, it came with the backhoe attachment. It did not come with the grapple. He had a set of grapples that he wanted to keep for his next tractor that he was buying. And I will say that take my opinion with a grain of salt when it comes to equipment like this, but having a grapple and having the backhoe, it has so many applications. I can't even list them for you right now because there's just so many. Even something like this, you got the thumb on there, put the thumb down and just pick rocks out and throw them in a pile. Very easy to do, doesn't break your back, doesn't even break a sweat. Just an overall great attachment to have if you're going to have a tractor. If you can spend the money on a backhoe, I would absolutely recommend it. And honestly, from my vantage point, the kinds of things that I do, that grapple, the third function, all that works so well in the woods, in this kind of application, moving brush around, moving rocks around, moving logs around. I don't know what I would do without it. It makes things much quicker than if you don't have it. So again, take my opinion with a grain of salt on some of these things, but when it comes to this tractor and the backhoe and the grapple, I wouldn't do without it. Well, at this point, you're probably getting a little bit more of a sense of what it takes and what I'm putting into this project overall. Part of the good thing about slow rolling everything here is being able to just take the time to do things hopefully right, but also to do things nicely. And I want the property to look intentional. I want to use as many of the resources that I have here. Our town, our area is very rocky, and so we have all kinds of rock. As you can see, I'm using it for the retaining wall, and now I'm going to be stacking up around this culvert in order just to make it look nicer, but then also to help to retain some of this gravel that we're having delivered. I reached out to the gravel guy. I haven't heard back. It doesn't sound like or look like that's going to be happening today. I was really hoping to get those 3 other loads today, but there again, it gives me a little bit more time to get some more things done like this right here. Get some more rocks. All right, now I'm going to go back over and get a few more rocks and kind of put some heavy duty ones behind this little wall and then sort of backfill it with some of this material we got here. Well, we're only a few weeks away from it, but there will be a whole lot more of this. we're going to call that good for today. Wasn't really planning on doing that. Seems like I say that all the time. Wasn't planning on doing this, wasn't planning on doing that, but these are all things in my head that have to get done. So when the opportunity strikes, or if something falls through, just take the opportunity and do something else. Really enjoying how this wall turned out, or whatever we want to call it, to cover over the culvert area. Really love using those rocks and just taking something that was in the ground a few minutes ago and making it into something beautiful. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me to know that you are getting value from this. I gotta say, I'd really like to spend more time in the comment section, engage, interact with any of you. Would love to know what you're working on, if you have a channel or anything like that. So please say something. Would love to get to know you a little bit via this venue. So until next time, hey, God bless you, and we'll see you then. Back in my day, we didn't have those fidget spinners. Okay, Grandpa. Okay.